put in slavery from Africa. Because they fled from Jerusalem in 70 AD into the interiors of Africa. To do what? To blend in with the inhabitants of that land.
Hey, you know what? You know when you go over here to Atlantic Station, right there by IKEA, you see the big ark over there. That ark is actually is mocking you so-called Negroes.
Yeah.
That's really a spit in your face.
Yep.
The Ark of Titus, which is one there. There's another one I think in Brooklyn.
Yeah, New York.
New York. There's one in Rome. It goes back to Titus.
Yeah.
Right.
Conquer a nation, you would set up an ark.
Yeah, during the Flavian dynasty, you had Titus, you had Domitian, and you had Vespasian, which were Caesars, and they ransacked Jerusalem. Your people. They did this to so-called your people, right? His Negroes, Puerto Ricans, and Haitians. I mean, his Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians.
That's right.
The so-called white man invaded you in 70 AD and forced you out of your land. And that's how you fled into Africa.
Matter of fact, get that in Deuteronomy.
Yep.
Get that in Deuteronomy 28.
The so-called white man came down and put you in slavery. The elites know if you're a Native American, they know you're an Israelite. That's why they push you on the reservation. They spread you out thin.
Yeah, and you actually had people that actually, when they came to the Americas with Christopher Columbus, they actually observed that the Native Americans are Israelites. They spoke the Hebrew tongue. They wore the regalia. That's why you have the Bats Creek stones, which is written in Hebrew. You got it's another stone, I forget what it's called.
Los Santos, I think.
Yeah. Los Lunos, Mexico. That's a stone in Los Lunos, Mexico, which is written in the Hebrew. Hey, now, how are these people speaking Hebrew? Because they knew that they was Israelites.
A lot of Native American languages are nothing but broken forms of Hebrew.
That's right.
That's all it is.
James Adair, when you read the book, James Adair, the history of James Adair, he came over here and he lived amongst the Native Americans.
Yep.
And he found out, part of his book and his writings were, he found out that they were the lost tribes of the Israelites.
Oh, and when you watch that movie 1492, Christopher Columbus, he said that he read the book of Ezra, which your brother could get. And Second Ezra, he said he read Second Ezra because Second Ezra speaks about how the 10 tribes came to the Americas. So he knew exactly, and that's another lie. People be saying that Christopher Columbus, he got misled, he was trying to go to India, but he ended up landed on another side of the world. That's some bullshit, man. He was a very, very intellectual navigator, man.
Hey, people put a lot of money behind him.
Yeah. And a lot of investments.
And he had Hebrew translators with him.
Yeah.
I got that scripture too.
You got it?
Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, for Revelation, Second Ezra chapter 13, same chapter, goes into how.
Yeah, it's in the Apocrypha. Because you have something known as the Apocrypha book that was taken out of the scriptures.
Yeah, during the Laodicean council. You go in the Laodicean council around the 11th century. You had that council of those men during the establishment of Christianity. What they did is they took a lot of books out. They took a lot of they took the Apocrypha out. They even took the book of Revelation. So during these councils, after the books were sealed, all right, that's when they did that. Matter of fact, we don't got to get that, but it tells you in Revelation 5. Books were sealed, they were opened up. There was a time in there when the books were sealed. All right?
And it talks about, before you get to this verse 39, it talks about Yahweh Shai conquering the nations and who he's going to save.
Yep.
Verse 39.
Matter of fact, go to verse, hit that point real fast.
Okay.
Because that's who it's for. That's why we're speaking about it. Because when you read the scriptures, it was only about the Israelites, man. It still is. When the blessings was being drawn out in Genesis, it spoke about how Shem would be the blessed nation. And out of Shem, you had, it was Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And it speaks about how Ham would be a servant, and Japheth, how the Most High would enlarge the tents of Japheth, but the seed line came through Shem. And through Shem, you had, Abraham, you had Isaac, Jacob, the 12 tribes. And then, which we are the 12 tribes today, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Verse 32.
And that's why it says that, that's why it says that in Matthew 1, that the Lord, Mary shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Jesus, which shall save we just established what Jesus is in the Hebrew, Yahweh Shai, but he shall save his people from their sins. Because our people, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, they got lost and they started following other laws, statutes, and commandments, and by them breaking the laws, they got led into different captivities.
That's right.
That's why the Lord had to come and die for the people, so that they could be come back into the fold. Yep.
And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
Yep.
Now they talk about the Lord when he ascended after 3 days and almost 2 months dealing with the disciples.
Right.
He went into the chariot,
In the
which is
Acts the first
so-called
chapter?
UFOs. Yeah, so that's what he's talking about. Now, to go verse 39. Y'all want to verse 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle that have one against another. It's talking about World War III.
Yeah, matter of fact, skip down to point.
Verse 39, and whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, talking about the 10 tribes, those are the 10 tribes which are carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Because you had, during that time period, you had the Assyrian captivity and you had the Babylonian captivity. During the Assyrian captivity, what you now know as the northern kingdom was in captivity of the Assyrians, and the southern kingdom was under captivity of the Babylonians. All right, keep going.
Yeah, because it was a split after the time of Solomon, where the prophet, I forget, he went to Rehoboam, and he split his garment.
Rent his garment.
Yeah, rent his garment, if I'm not mistaken, in the 12 pieces. And he gave him basically 2 portions and said that the 12 tribes would be split in half, just like the brother just now explained. And that's why in the scriptures you had southern and northern kingdom wars, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi warring against the northern kingdom. And they actually split up amongst each other. And during just like the brother said, the Assyrian captivity, these tribes, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, which is today the so-called Dominicans. That's why you have the Dominican Republic. That's the Cubans, the Native Americans, the Seminole Indians, all these different people during the time of the Assyrian captivity, they actually fled to the Americas.
It was called by other heathen names like Taino Indians and Aztecs, Mayans, Simeon,
I don't know what's going on with your phone.
and Native American Indians.
That's right.
Now, whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. See, that goes to show history is important too.
Yep.
And so came they into another land. So Christopher Columbus and James Adair wrote about when they brought the monsters. And this time, because James Adair, he mentioned the customs.
Yep.
He mentioned the customs and
Ceremonial
how they
customs,
carried themselves and what they praise, Yahweh. It says in
They
the
say Yahweh.
Yahweh, yeah. And they was chanting his name, giving them praises and stuff like that.
Or they will call him the Great Spirit.
Yeah.
Because even when you go into Native American and Aztec history, it was even breakups amongst those natives, man. You had all kind of Native American wars amongst each other. You had the Aztec and the Incas. That's why when you watch this movie, I forget what it's called, Apocalypto. Apocalypto shows how the different tribes was warring with each other, and they was actually being heathens. You had some of them following heathenistic customs, but you had some of them that actually knew the culture of the scriptures, and they was following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Yeah, well, because when you read in the Aztecs, when you read about the Aztecs, they was worshiping Quetzalcoatl, which was like a serpent god, which is no more than this Yahweh Shai, right? Because when Yahweh Shai, when he died on the other side, he said, I have to go to the other sheeps, right? Which is of this fold. And what did he do? He came over here. He told them what they had to do. He implemented a spirit on his side.
And
right?
which even the Mormons know that. That's even in the Mormon, the Mormon book, whatever book they read. It goes into that history how the Lord, after he died, he actually came to this other side of the world. Right. He wasn't just in Israel. He went to the Americas. And how do they know that? Because they know the history, man.
Yeah, we just read that. Matter of fact, get that again.
The so-called white man has access. That's why even in certain libraries, you got very prestigious libraries where you don't have access to that information.
The Library of Congress, the Library in Yale. All right, these different high-level schools, you just can't walk in there and check out a book. Yeah, it's not a public library.
Which me and his brother, we had went to Yale, man. Yeah. And they're very restricted there, man. We can only go so far, because they got a lot of restrictions.
They show you in the movie I was just watching recently, The Day After Tomorrow. You seen that movie, Day After Tomorrow? And the movie, what you had the guy that was the librarian over that library, and remember his big thing was he wanted to save books. They understand the importance of certain pieces of history. We just whatever to a book, it don't matter. I can get it online. No, they understand the power of a book. Read that in Ezekiel 28.
If I can say something, they can open up the first page and see a long list of table of contents. I'm not reading. I'm not reading.
You know, I remember one time I was in this is when you still had borders, and I went in the borders, and one of the I was in the when I was in the world, I was in the real estate area or something, looking at something. One of the workers in there, he was like, it's nice. He gave a slick comment. Like, he was like, it's nice to see you people. It was something the way he said it was years ago, but it was like the fact of seeing a black male, a Negro man reading a book and not a magazine. Because that's real. Our people don't read, our people don't care, our people just go with the flow, our people don't question nothing, our people just, it is what it is.
If I could say, I was walking with my backpack, and this little nigga walked up to me, you know. I put my bag down, he went in my bag, and he was like, hold up, you got books in your bag?
That's a book bag.
He couldn't, and the look on his face was like, damn, like who still carry books in their bag that's like on a regular? You know, because what do they carry? You know, sacks, all types of snacks.
That yapper.
You know, that yapper. So you got books, you know what I mean? What are you into? Just read it.
Well, even that word purse, like, see, even men carry purses back in the ancient world.
Right.
Which purses,
like a satchel.
Purses actually had scrolls and different things of that nature. Now what do they use purses for? Makeup. Like women be toting them big ass purses full of makeup and perfume and all kind of bullshit. Those was actually like storages, so to speak, that had the records and scrolls in them. You got some more on that Ezra?
I think, is that it on Ezra's?
All right, I'll read it again. It says, on Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, which is the Most High, and so came they into another land.
Yeah, and we just went into that with the chariots, man. How the Most High actually has chariots, so-called UFOs, that actually guided certain people. When we left Egypt, how did we know the actual route to get out of Egypt?
Yeah, because that wilderness was dark. There wasn't no street lights in there.
Right.
How did we maneuver through it?
Yeah,
through the chariots of the Most High. Right. A pillar by was it a pillar by night and a cloud by day? You know. So read that in Ezekiel again for me.
Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, that are wiser than Daniel.
Behold, thou art wiser. These so-called these Edomites and so-called white men, he's wiser than Daniel. And Daniel was wise. Daniel got a lot of great revelations. All right, but you know who's wiser than the so-called white man? Us.
Yes, right.
All right, we have the full knowledge.
They know it too. That's you know how they know that we wiser than the so-called white man? But they would never put us in the public light.
Right. That's right.
Never.
Hey, we are right in front of CNN, and they probably doing a story right now on Colin Kaepernick or the Papa
or Tyrese crying.
Or Papa John's losing $70 million away. That's important news to the people.
Yep.
They know that what we saying is fact.
But that's cool because the Most High this is not about a great number. The Lord is only looking for a remnant of
That's right.
All right, that's what it's all about.
And that's why the Lord said, when nobody body or redeem me back, ain't nobody mentioning and taking up for us.
See our people there. Matter of fact, somebody get for the lady back here. Somebody get Ecclesiastes 7. Ecclesiastes 7 and 4.
Yeah, it's ain't no game.
Because with our people, it's all about fun and games. Yeah. Everybody always want to laugh. But matter of fact, you didn't get Isaiah 65 and was that 65 and 13?
Hey, was that scripture? He that laugh now shall later morning weep.
Yeah, Isaiah 65. I think that's.
You know the funny thing about it, they cackling right now. On the way home, the Most High might flip that car.
Yeah.
They think everything is a joke.
Everything's not a game, man. We're living in perilous, evil times. And somebody get Jeremiah 30 and 7 too, man. We can build off of that. You got that in Ecclesiastes?
Oh, that's all.
You got it.
That's way
7 and 2. It is better to go into the house of mourning than go into the house of feasting.
It is better to go into the house of mourning. Mourning is when you're at a low state. You're in a serious mind. Matter of fact, hold that and go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 18 real quick.
To build out that because we're in a season of what? War.
Yeah, right. Ecclesiastes 3 tell you that. We're in a time of war. All right?
That's what I'm mourning right now.
I think it's 5.
Our people always want to laugh. Always want to have a good time. And how are we having a good time where Trump is preparing for World War III? We're waiting for this dollar to collapse. The Lord, matter of fact, somebody get Revelation was that 3 and 9? The hour of temptation. 3 and 10. Right, but it's all fun and games right now because it's all fun and games right now because you can go to a concert when you want to, you can go get a beer when you want to, you can go catch a show, you can go to the movies. If you got a little bit of money, you can have a good time. But all that's gonna stop.
You know, right?
Everything's gonna stop. Change, man. That's right. All right. What did I get that in Revelation? I got it.
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
And that's what we are here to do, to prepare the people for the Lord. Go ahead.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Yeah, the hour of temptation. Go ahead.
Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
And that hour of temptation is martial law. It's the microchip. All right. It's famines. It's pestilence breaking out here. Hey, like we always speak on in our private time. We're waiting for that great pestilence to break out here. Yeah. What do you have over there over there by Emory Hospital? The CDC.
They got a lot of CDC.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of CDC.
They got like it's about 8. You got one up on Buford Highway. You got one on Northeast Expressway.
Yeah, right off of 85 North, right?
Yep. All of them really north of the city too.
Yeah, but that one by Emory, see, the brother sent me on a mission. Yeah, we was trying to go to the CDC, right? We was just gonna go and go to, cause it's a museum there. And we're not trying to go put on white scientist jackets and glasses and the suit and go see. We was just going to the museum. Man, I went to the museum, man. They made me cut the car off, pop the trunk, pop the hood of the car, open all the doors, the glove department.
Like you going to a military.
Like I was going into a military base. I had to give them my ID. They had to take a picture of it.
Just questioning you, like
they was questioning me. Why do you want to come here? Who's coming with you? I was like, it's a museum. Yes. If I wanted to go to the African American Museum over there, you just gonna go there, you give me a little $5, whatever it costs. You go in. They literally like they was about to strip the car over.
But let you try to go to a nigga club. Niggas not even gonna check you.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know? Yeah. Let's go to the compound, man.
You just walk right in with the gun and everything. You go to their museum. They gotta open up all the doors. They gotta look into the glove compartment. Right. They gotta look under the seat. Because they know that they got a student from Georgia Tech. He told me that they still have the actual smallpox strand in the CDC. Only thing they got to do is just unleash it. Yeah. Put it into your
to anything.
System, or put it into your food or something.
Well, it's 1,000 different ways. They actually have this video game where you could download it. It's called like Plague Inc. on your phone, and it shows you how to kill off majority of the population. It goes into the urban areas. It goes into the best ways how to actually mutate your virus. Yep. And it actually shows how the population dies out. That's why the major place that's always hit by diseases is Africa. Yeah. They always say Africa got hit with AIDS. Yeah. Hold up. Somebody having sex with a monkey.
The Black Plague is out in Madagascar and it's spreading rapidly right now.
Yeah.
What makes you think the CDC doesn't have the Black Plague stored up in there too?
They got it.
What they do what these elites do is they do trial runs. Right. They know that this is the main place that they're going to attack, so they do those trial runs. Right. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares what's going on over there in Sierra Leone. People kind of act like when Ebola was happening, everybody kind of act concerned, but they really weren't.
But that was because it was on CNN.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's a trial run. Let's see how it affects the people. Get Matthew 24:7 too.
And to add to your point, when I was hauling cars, I remember I picked up a guy and coming through Texas, and he was telling me he was down in Houston at this clinic where they test these drugs on humans. So he basically just been a human lab rat, you know. And he said they paid him like $1,500 for, you know, and you have to stay there a month so they can see how it affect his body.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if
you can go ahead first, John.
Yeah, we have Matthew 24:7.
Matthew 24:7. For nations shall rise.
Go up a few verses.
I'll start at 5.
Yeah, start at 5. No. Wait and see.
Well, I was gonna say, and that's the thing Esau be having too. Esau have a lot of these little science labs, man. Yeah. It's really it's a very, very dark energy in this country, man. Yeah. Where Esau actually does like unethical human experiments. Yeah. He does certain things where he tests people, torture people. Yeah. That's why, you know, that's how Esau really came up with a lot of these anesthetics and things like that. Yeah. He actually worked on people to take them to the brink of actually pain, and then he injected them with painkillers, anesthetics, and different things to see how people react, man.
Yeah, they showed you in that movie, that old movie Max, about that dog.
Yeah.
You know, they put They was that dog end up having all these characteristics of other animals. You know, exotic animals. You know, being able to climb trees and do all kind of stuff, because Esau was experimenting in that lab. You know? And it's gonna come to the point where they already do experiment. I just said it. Gave an example. They experiment on humans. You see?
DJ Smalls was interviewing some little rapper, and he was from Chicago. He was talking about the fact that what people in Chicago do is they break off to maybe Iowa, someplace out there, and they sign themselves up for like. Jake be wicked, so Jake will go and do a test like that. Go catch $1,500 so they can re-up.
Right.
That's the truth. Like he was saying, that's what Jake would do. They would go out there, they go to these labs, they treat them like guinea pigs. So tools in them, the whole lot.
Hey, you know, that's why, you know, if you notice too, that the so-called white man, he attests the white rats and the black rats.
Right.
Because you know the white rat is like is missing melanin.
It's like albino.
It's like an albino. So they see what works and what doesn't work on the white rat, and they incorporate that in so-called white people. They do the same thing with the melanated rat. So they got this whole thing. They got this whole experiment set up, man.
You know, we just waiting for the right time.
Yeah, and that's why the new big thing nowadays is vaccinations, man. Because them vaccinations don't actually cure you. It's actually making you susceptible to the diseases, man. It's actually breaking down
This is what
trying to get your flu shot. What you get?
they could be coming to get us.
I just said the same thing.
Hey, but that's how it's gonna be. It's really gonna be like that. It's gonna become a time where they gonna roll up, but we ain't scared. Gonna say, bro.
I was gonna say, most of these fucking Edomite cops, man, were them same ones in high school getting their ass beat, man. You look at these motherfuckers, they got a proud ass look on their face, man. And they got these suits on, and it made me remember. I went into the sandwich place with the Firehouse Subs, and this cop, he opened the door for me, right? And I did it on purpose. I didn't even say thank you or nothing. I just looked at him and walked on out. And he yelled at me, you know, after I walked on out, thank you, you know, just proud as hell, you know.
Well, these cops, they see, the thing about it is, you know, that technically speaking, a cop, a fireman, technically speaking, a cop, a fireman, and a military man, they can't be heroes. They can't be heroes because, and that's what as that project brother was going into. They want you to thank them for their service. No, it's a service. It's a job. You're not a hero when you're doing your job. Right. But the fact of it is, like the brother said, these cops, man, it's a known fact that you can't. They don't hire cops with high IDs, man. High IQs, or military people. That's not my opinion. They stupid. That's actual factual information. They don't hire smart cops, man. They just well, it goes back to the concept of the king and the fool. All right, when you watch those old, like my mother's a little older. When I used to watch like Andy Griffith, right? Watch them old cop shows. The cop was always an idiot. The cop was always stupid, or he was always goofy.
South Park. What's the dude?
At South Park, the cop from South Park.
You remember that movie, Police Academy?
American Dad.
That's my favorite movie right there.
They tell you ever watch stupid.
You ever watch these sovereign citizen videos? All right, you got these citizens that know the law, so to speak. All right, but you know, you look at the cops, and they don't know the law. They don't even know their own law. They're sovereign citizens. They be telling them, well, this and that. They be cutting them on their own law.
That's when they get mad and they.
All right, they run off, break the window.
Yeah, they just try to shoot in it.
Go over there, Matthew.
That's it.
Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?
End of the world. That word there for world is eon, which is the end of an age. All right, because in the scriptures, that word world is 3 different words there. The scriptures was translated from Hebrew and Greek. So that word there, that's the rain. That's all. It's eon, cosmos, and okome. Okay, the word there is eon.